need to tell y'all two things real quickly before we get into this, okay? If you think everything is put together, it's not. I would like to show you something. You see that? Can you see that? This is a hole. I took the little soft thingy off my mic, dropped it on accident, forgot about it. Then my sweet Lila Rose Lanter, my puppy, decided to try and rip it up, and I caught it just in time. So I flip it so y'all don't see it. Problem 2, not even a minute in, and I stained my fucking white shirt. I cannot have nice things in this damn house. All right, hi everyone, it's Isabella here, and welcome back to the channel. So here's the deal, y'all. We have a lot to talk about and cover today. Today's video, we are going to be talking about a little bit of a WFABB recap. So you guys know I've talked about WFABB many different times. For some of you, because I do have a lot of new people in here, I will give a good brief description and recap on literally everything with WFABB. They are a part of a crypto multi-level marketing company, and they're honestly probably one of the biggest problematic MLM teams I've personally ever come across. So I like talking about them, discussing about them, because there's something that are very, like, they really utilize things that are interesting and trending when it comes to social media, which gets a lot of people to be interested. Whereas, for example, with a lot of MLM teams, we don't really see them doing it as extreme. So they're a very fascinating group. Now, I want to give an update because there's been a lot of things that have been going on. Okay, I'm talking about complete BS with not actually trading, people leaving the MLM team, and so much more. So before we hop into today's video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell button down below. My merch, vlog channel, and podcast are in the description below. And now let's get into it. So real quickly, again, I will have timestamps. If you guys already know the drill, skip on over, okay? You don't need to know all this. Some of you already know all this, okay? So for my new people here, all right? If you guys don't know WFABB, so originally they were a part of a company called Monet, which is a hair care company, right? So they were originally a part of this MLM for several years. Now, Jasmine is a main leader, okay? Now, Jasmine used to work with another girl. They apparently co-created it. So I've covered this many times about like the downfall of WFABB and the whole problems of it actually on my channel here before, and I do have a playlist on them. And so with that though, they were part of Monet, and they made a big jump from Monet to iGenius, which is a cryptocurrency multi-level marketing company, or kind of like teach you how to trade MLM. They've had many unethical issues and problematic behaviors for years now. I literally started covering them, I think probably like 2020, 2021. It's been a while, okay? Since then, they have tried to essentially grow in this multi-level marketing company, try and become just very successful with it. And they have been a really interesting topic of discussion because I've never seen a MLM group like this that is so bad, first of all, and so delusional. And just the way that they try and suck in some people, it's very fascinating. So I've covered them a lot here on the channel. Of course, with where they started with iGenius, we actually covered their version of a reality show, if you guys do or don't remember, where they decided to create their own version of a great value version of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, talking about their MLM, and they only were able to put out only a few episodes because, quote unquote, the haters got to them, which I don't understand. However, in all reality, a majority of the people who were in that show actually left the MLM or just left the team in general. So we're going to do an entire recap of what's going on with them right now because they have had a plethora of issues and there's so many things I want to go over. So first thing I want to talk about is the Mexico trip. So if you guys don't remember, I actually covered this in one of my videos about WFABB. They've been trying to really make a very unique culture and experience when it comes to joining their MLM. So you have to drop a lot of money, but they're pretty much trying to mark off as a great way to just have like good friendships and connections, grow, become a good businesswoman, all the works, right? And so they've tried to market off this way of how they know how to make money. You could do really well with them, and they're also so fun. Actually, for example, they started kind of hopping onto the idea of having like monthly celebration get-togethers where it's like celebrating rank and success and people growing throughout the company, which that's not inherently wrong to celebrate people's success. However, there's just been some things that apparently have been completely bullshit. So now there actually was some posts a good old while ago about a Mexico trip. So what they were talking about when a lot of people used to be in WFABB was they were going to have their first incentive trip. So if you guys don't know with MLMs, an incentive trip just in the MLM in general is something that you earn that could be once a year, several times a year because of your growth and ranks in the company. It's going to really vary depending on MLM, but for iGenius, for example, you actually can earn a incentive trip by pretty much hitting specific ranks and keeping it, and you have certain qualifying periods. So that could range for a couple months, maybe a month. A lot of them usually can range from 3 months to 6. So that's kind of what you're looking at, and you're supposed to keep that rank and exist in that rank. And these trips can honestly be really problematic because they're labeled as free, but there's so many times where these quote unquote free trips are not actually free. So for example, with Monet, there's many times where they claim that it's free, but it's only 100% free for people who are literally basically having like massive downlines essentially. So you don't have like massive downlines and you're not hitting the top level of requirements, then you're gonna have to pay for flights or you're gonna still have to drop money. Also have to pay the taxes on these trips. So whatever amount of money that they drop on you with this, you have to pay the taxes on that. So expensive and still cost you money no matter what, but it's something that is really enticing, especially for people who join the multi-level marketing world. And with that though, WFABB wanted to kind of take a step out in the world and try something new, and they wanted to do their own personal incentive trip. It looks like it was going to get like funded and sponsored by Jasmine, it appears, because I think at the time she was making a lot of money. I don't really know how much she's making now, but it looks like she wanted to kind of like fund the cost and be able to cover a lot of stuff, which can be very fucking expensive, by the way. But she wanted to have tiers. So if you hit a specific tier, then you're going to be qualifying for a certain amount of maybe your like hotel covered, but not like, you know, flights. And then the next tier, you were going to be able to qualify for this covered and this covered. And then the top tier was going to have all these other things covered and you were supposed to qualify. So what they did though during this time is they actually had tons of different promotional ads and things that they made talking about this and how their own team was hosting a trip, which again, do whatever the you want to do. The problem is though is they also had a bit of a raffle at this time. Now this is where I think it's touching illegal. They were saying how you had to join the MLM, and if you started at the top tier of the MLM of like the packages, which would be like almost $1,400 to $500 to get started, and then almost $200 every single month to stay in, then you would be put in a raffle so where you could have a chance to go to Mexico with them. So they were pushing and saying, oh, if you do this, then you have a chance to go to the WFABB vacation. Asking people to drop all this crazy money to join your MLM is just insane and unrealistic to say the least. The problem is though, it's apparently getting aired out that this trip never happened. So I remember when this went down and I was like, wait a minute. Usually, because they can't resist posting about these trips, when are they going? Is it actually going? All the posts that from what I could see actually got deleted off their page. So I'm wondering if they changed their mind. But again, I had really no major confirmation of that whatsoever. But people were talking about how they were working towards this trip. They couldn't wait. And the dates actually come for the Mexico trip. And I see zero posting. There's nothing happening at all. And there wasn't even an announcement of the individual that was going on the Mexico trip with them, or the individuals. I don't know how many they selected. I had speculation that it was bullshit and they had to change their mind. And maybe Jasmine got in a little bit too deep and realized how much it would cost for her to go, especially if a lot of people were capable of actually making it on that trip. Or maybe there was a lot of people that just didn't have enough money to spend on the flights and things like that. Because again, the earning potential in these companies are very, very, very low. It's alleged even that there's one by the name of Matilda or Tildes who maybe makes $600 or not even that a month. So that's not going to even cover expenses. And that's surely not going to really cover a good flight. This is where we get to present time. So we really didn't have any actual like strong foundation or basis that this didn't happen, right? And I actually personally heard through the grapevine possibly the trip didn't happen. I had my own assumptions, but again, I was wondering like, man, maybe they just wanted it really private and we're sick of people like me reporting on it. So maybe they just didn't post about it. And so there have been many people who have left WFABB actually, and I'll pop up some examples of here. People who are part of the show, that fake little reality show they made, people who used to be super active about how incredible WFABB was, all of a sudden dropped out the face of the multi-level marketing world. And one of them I actually saw and reacted to because he was a part of a specific video that I was reacting to, posted up several different things. So real quickly, I'm going to read off some of the discussions that he posted up on his story. And there was an anonymous Q&A. So first of all, it says, did you leave WFABB? Yes, I did. I am no longer aligned with their vision. It's been a while since I felt disconnected, so I decided to step away from the team, feeling drained, worthless, unseen, and not being able to recognize myself physically, mentally, and emotionally. Real quickly, if you guys have not seen some of the worst with WFABB, I'm going to point out this video right here that I recommend everyone watching because it essentially airs out exactly what I've been talking about when it comes to this team and the toxicity of these MLMs. Because we've literally had Jasmine, for example, going on about how, she wasn't showering and taking care of herself and she was working crazy hours and she was expecting people to do that as well. That will cause insane harm to you with your mental health, physically, emotionally, everything that's going to hurt you. And so leaders encouraging that and encouraging hefty cold messaging, which was discussed in there, that is not normal, that is not ethical work, and that's not work that's going to pay off. And so it doesn't surprise me seeing people say this, and that's honestly so devastating how people who used to be very huge advocates of WFABB suddenly saying, yeah, I wasn't feeling right, I wasn't feeling okay. Still love to family I've made, I genius, financial literacy, network marketing, and entrepreneurship. My desire is to continue this journey and in a new atmosphere, but unfortunately my past past leaders have refused to sign my papers to allow me to do so seamlessly, leaving me my only option to wait 6 months to build myself a business I deserve. WFABB, I'm not sure I'll ever stand you, but I forgive you. There's so much that I have to unpack with this, and this, again, will connect to the whole Mexico trip and bullshit. But when it comes to iGenius, you actually have to have your top leader, have your upline sign off for you to move to a different team. This is where it gets problematic and culty and not really your own business, because if it was, you'd be able to move and do whatever the you wanted. They are very, very clear about how they prioritize getting people into a team, recruiting, and how that is a huge moneymaker for them. And especially because I have heard through the grapevine that they don't really actually make a lot with training, it wouldn't surprise me that they would deny signing off. So essentially holding people hostage who don't want to have anything to do with you and forcing people to quit, because that's the only way for someone to actually get back into the MLM under a new upline is if your upline does not sign you off and you have no one who will help you, you are then required to get out of the MLM, stay there, do something else. The second you're able to, and the time is up, you're able to get back in under another person. It's very manipulative. And this is a wonderful example of how I'm so fucking sick of Jasmine and her shit. Because she's not a good leader. And also a lot of other top leaders for that matter. It's controlling, it's horrible, and it is so disgustingly toxic. And having someone vocally say like, and trying to be a good person saying, I don't understand, but I forgive you. Oh, it pissed me off. Again, I know this guy is very involved, like he likes MLMs, right? That aside, this is not acceptable for anyone to experience. I'm telling you that right now. If you want to ever send me some things, if you want to ever air some shit out, you can send it anonymously to my email. You can send it to my DMs. Oh, this is bad. Did you ever get to go on the WFABB incentive trip you earned? He showed his little thing that said that he qualified for the first fully paid incentive trip. And then he says, no, I've come to terms with it. Now my energy is focused on being able to treat my mom to a fully paid trip to Mexico myself. So it looks like the trip didn't even happen. So you mean to tell me you had a raffle and it didn't even happen and you had people invest a ton of money? Excuse me? I don't think even that's legal in Canada. I'll have to look that up later while I'm editing. But like now another individual has had this exact same experience, which is so if you guys don't remember, there was a girl by the name of Lindsay who was a part of WFABB as well. Very active in the company, very vocal about how much she loved WFABB, was a part of all these big campaigns. All of a sudden, she talked about how she left WFABB. It was very quiet. And of course, I kind of expect that because people who leave the MLMs, they feel like they have to be silent because very shitty, manipulative, and abusive leaders will make you feel like you have to be quiet. That is not the case in any capacity. Just so you know, if any of y'all are leaving and watching this, people finally were speaking up from other parts of WFABB that have left. So I think this has empowered her to speak up after leaving, because not too long after the other individual I showed previously posted, this screenshot was made that says, as you guys know, I left WFABB and have to come back in 6 months. But one of my friends was able to switch over more seamlessly because she wasn't as much value. Joke's on them. I gotta shout her out. Too old my fucking ass. So now this is where they're saying someone else in WFABB was able to go and cross over, and it looks like Jasmine or whoever signed off on it because she wasn't doing well. She wasn't really making anyone much money. So they were like, all right, go for it. And you're not really that fun or worth it, or maybe you don't fit our team aesthetic. You can go. That is so controlling and manipulative. And apparently because Lindsay was pulling in some sort of good volume, she was required to leave for 6 months and then come back. Here's another person who's left at WFABB. They did an anonymous Q&A. This is another example and description of why they left. Why'd you leave WFABB? As you guys know, my team trades. WFABB is a network marketing team and definitely has mastered that craft. But when it comes to trading, there is zero help, which we have actually heard before. Literally Sabrina in that video I recommended earlier, again, I'll have it in the description as well. She literally talked, who is another upline and top leader, Sabrina discussed clearly that you don't have to know anything with trading. As long as you just get them to go in, we can explain that later. You can learn that later. There's no actual education and understanding of trading. Only now have they hopped onto trying to claim that they know what they're doing and are learning. They are doing this because they're getting caught in their shit and they're realizing people are leaving because they know that these people do not know anything about trading. They don't know what they're doing, and they're completely full of shit. And as long as you are a warm body joining into the system, that is all that matters. I tried to dive into the education to serve the team, but it was not enough. Then there was removal of people in chats. People felt unseen, not heard, and the lack of tools needed to continue to grow as traders just kept getting slimmer and slimmer, which does not surprise me. They have had many problems with shunning people or silencing people if they ask the wrong questions. For what I've seen, they did that when they moved from Monet to iGenius. People's character has started to truly show over the past couple weeks while stepping going back, it's as if we're in high school all over again. It's sad that grown women find the need to bully others wanting better because they outgrew the team. It's whack if you ask me. A lot of these individuals are moving over to a team called OBG, who allegedly has a lot more focus on trading. Now, again, full transparency, all right? Network marketing MLMs is unethical. It's not okay. The losses are exceptionally high in this industry. What I will say, they do focus a lot more on trading than they do the whole network marketing side, which I am glad, okay? We don't have to agree on the MLM side, but if you're actually trying to learn how to trade and educate people properly and focusing on that heavy, I prefer that. I like that. That is far more ethical. So this team has started to accept people from WFABB, and honestly, I've been kind of giggling a little bit because the guy, I think his name is Alex, he's been essentially calling out WFABB and be like, well, these people don't know what they're talking about, which leads into my next topic. You guys know WFABB rebranded. Yes, they did. So I posted about this. Okay, this is highly embarrassing for them. But so apparently the original acronym meaning was work from anywhere boss builders, which, okay, that's fine. Please look right now and look at this new meaning for WFABB. Please tell me if this makes any more fucking sense than what it used to. Are you out of your ever-loving flippin' mind? That makes less sense. That looks like you shoved that shit in ChatGPT and said, good. ChatGPT would have made one better. That's it. They did a bunch of rebrands. They're switching to talking a lot more about cryptocurrency. And all of this makes so much more sense now because they're getting drugged by other teams even. And people on their team have been leaving them to go to other teams who prioritize trading, which again, I don't really trust the education with a lot of these traders. What I will say though is at least they're trying far more because WFABB team was focused so much more on network marketing. Now, I personally think they still are, but I think they need to put up a new front. And I think they're trying to talk about trading more because then it gets people interested in that specifically. I think they're realizing that a lot of their ways of doing this, recruiting people into the system, is not working. So I think they're trying to really act as if main moneymaker for them is trading and how this is just the good way to do it. And I think it's another way of misleading people and sucking them into the system to where when they're in the system and they dropped all this money, they realize, oh shit, I am stuck recruiting people. I can't trade because I don't have the money. Now, Jasmine had a response to all of this backlash, and per usual, it's childish as fuck. And instead of victimizing and complaining about your situation, put that energy and anger towards income growth skills. That's just how I see it. Stop trying to make yourself relevant by playing victim and putting the blame game on others. You become relevant when you grow skills, get results that will change you and your family's lives. The people that complain got eyes on them for a short period of time because people love drama. You want eyes on you consistently, you want attention, you want influence, build a skill, impact and change your life first, and then go change people's lives. Nobody ever created a statue of professional poor me attitudes. Anyways, Dre's going for her phase one, that's all. Jasmine's response essentially is victim blaming the people who are coming out and saying, you mistreated me. I literally have to leave the company because you won't let me go and you're being a bully. You're acting like you're in high school. You're treating me like shit. And all her response is, you're being a poor an unfortunate soul. Jasmine, you are a shitty leader. And this is something I'm going to say too. MLM aside, there is a lot of loyalty in these companies, which is very insane to me, okay? And I think that's also why people stay in these companies so long is because of their loyalty to their uplines. I think if they had good leaders that cared about them and did their best, I think people would stay longer. But it should tell you everything when literally it wasn't even a year. A majority of those people in that little reality show, most of those people left. And even people now are dropping and leaving them and they don't even have the mega leaders that they used to have. That should tell you a lot. Now, one other thing that I want to say, now this has been speculation, alleged, gotta be very honest with you. However, there's speculation that other people that are quote unquote Jasmine's favorites are wanting to leave WFABB as well. Now if this happens, I don't know what Jasmine's gonna do, okay? I really don't. I don't know how she's keeping rank. I don't know how she'll make it, but allegedly, Sabrina, we've seen her a couple times on my channel, is wanting to jump ship as well and take her girls with her. This is speculation. However, through the grapevine, it's hearing that she wants to leave too and have a better performing team and a nicer performing team. Because one thing I will say is Jasmine has been very adamant about looking at Sabrina as a prodigy, about how a very significant person to her. And also that's a huge leader for Jasmine. Jasmine has a bigger downline because of Sabrina. Sabrina has been getting more gifts and incentives and special things for her simply because Jasmine's trying to keep her in. For example, when Sabrina hit this new rank, there was Cartier gifted and things like that. And I personally think it is a way to be look, I'll give you all these things and I'll be nice to you and try and convince someone to stay. it just wouldn't surprise me if we had a lot more people leave here soon. And I think that's going to happen. I don't know how long the WFABB team will exist, maybe. And maybe it will. And honestly, I give it 6 months. I think in 6 months, maybe 4 months, actually, 4 to 6 months, we are going to have an entirely new set of leaders, and the same girls that we see now are not going to be there. I truly believe that. I think it's going to be a new set, which is what we see. The amount of times that these people are filtered through is insane. And if you cannot have majority of the people be with you for years, that should say a lot about the system, and that should especially say a lot about your leadership. And if that one call that I showed you guys that was talking about running yourself into the ground, messaging hundreds of people, cold message, and all those things, if that exists and that was just a bit of training we saw, I can't even imagine what's happening in those chats. I can't even imagine the sheer up things happening because these leaders do not give a shit about their people, and that's sad. Now, one other last thing I have noticed as well, and I want to point this out here. Now, again, I'm going to make this very, very clear. Huge disclaimer though. I'm not telling anyone to do anything. I'm not telling you to report shit. I'm just telling you information that I'm seeing. I'll leave it at that. All right, so this will make sense in a bit. I'm verified on Instagram. And now, not like I'm verified on Instagram in the way of I put my verification, I submitted all my information, I showed my ID, and I got my account verified. Now, why is this significant? Instagram rolled out an opportunity where you can pay monthly to have your account secured, verified. Now, why this is important is because, for example, I have had like downlines before of companies try and mass report me as fake to get my account taken down. Like, that will happen. They will be that fucking crazy. If I have my account verified and secure through Instagram, they can't do anything about that. Now, of course, an account gets taken down, but it is verified. It's me. So they can't make random claims that I'm fake, that I'm pretending to be someone else. And also, no one else can snatch up like my name. Like, it's very secure, right? So it's helpful for people like me because I'm able to securely have my accounts locked down. And I think that's important. Other people can do that. Many people can do that to make sure their accounts are verified. Some MLM leaders have started doing that, but some haven't. Now, the problem is these big leaders' accounts will get taken down because of spam, which honestly, if you report these accounts, a lot of them get taken down because they spam people. They literally message people from what we have been told by them. They will message people hundreds of times a day. That is considered spam. That is why they have literally joked about how their accounts on Instagram have been literally taken down because they have spam people. They do this. So for example, if you get cold message, report them for spam. If they get enough, their accounts will get taken down, especially if it's not verified. A lot of them were not verified. Now, Jasmine, for example, was not verified. And this is also why I think it's good to verify your account. It is very easy to make a fake ID. I have never done that. I'd tell you if I did. I never have, okay? But I know it's easy to get one. So it's not hard to make a fake ID and fake verified account. So currently, there's an account that is pretending to be Jasmine. It's not her, okay? It's completely fake, but they verified it. So her other accounts got shut down. So she has one right now, and this is the one it is right here. And she's trying to kind of like rebuild and rebrand. But because they're having problems, and also because allegedly they're having problems because they spam people so much. Their stuff is not working and it's not verified. People can report an account, but what's happening though is people are reporting those accounts, like her real account, because that's really her, and saying that she's pretending to be the verified account. The verified account is fake. So like it's an absolute mess. Now, this is also going to show that they're spamming too much, so their accounts are not doing well, which should tell you everything you need to know. However, this is the new concern I have. They're hopping more on TikTok and they're trying to become relatable and look interesting to everyday people who find them on their For You page. So for example, I estimated this a while ago. I know damn well, I was like, they're going to start posting more lifestyle vlog content. They're going to try and post regular stuff to get you interested. Sure shit. Look what Jasmine's doing. What I say. This woman is trying to do get ready with me's vlogs and trying to talk about financial advice, literally act as if she's just being a regular everyday content creator. And it is the easiest way that I personally am saying that she's trying to suck people in to join her MLM and look like her. It's bullshit. So if you see that, one, you can report her account for promoting MLM stuff. That's definitely true. However, keep that in mind because now when they know that if they don't get their Instagram verified or if they don't want to spend or if they have a fake account get verified for them, they're going to move to TikTok now. And that's where you're going to see the WFABB girls are going to be there trying. Now, if they can do it right, they can possibly grow in the algorithms and make money and get people to join their team. That is a problem. If you see them, if you see it, if you see promoting of an MLM, if they are cold messaging you. Report that shit, okay? Because that is not okay. It does violate TikTok guidelines. That's just a reality of it. So keep that in mind. But that's what they're doing right now because they're trying to become more relatable and become more of like lifestyle content creators because they're trying to do whatever switch they can to make people not realize that's what they're doing and get you involved. I literally just covered not too long ago TikTok scams and TikTok millionaire coaches. I think that's a transition they're moving to. They're trying to make them look like everyday basic lifestyle individuals and regular content creators when they're not that. They're literally just trying to suck you into an MLM. So that's what's happening right now. It's really interesting to see where they're going with this, but I don't think they're doing very good. And honestly, the biggest reason why I do talk about this team is because again, there's many people who are interested in the team, right? They try and post a lot on social media. They promote a lifestyle, fake and real. They claim that they make a lot of money. They do all of these crazy things when in reality, there's a lot of dark shit happening. And what sucks is I've had still too many people message me and say, this is what happened to me. This is what's going down. And it's devastating. It's fucked. No one deserves this kind of stuff. And if I can talk about it more and get people to see the problems of what's actually happening, I want to, because I want people to know what the hell they're joining into. So many people have lost a lot of money to this. Many people have been negatively impacted with their mental health. And it gets me very, very concerned for a lot of people participating. So that was it for today's video and my recap and things going on. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good day. Comment down below what you guys think. If you guys have any theories, ideas, estimates, whatever you want to say, comment down below. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this, how it's going. And I will see my angels in the next video. Bye.